Today we're going to be looking at the American icon, Mark Twain. So as a young man, our author Mark Twain worked as a riverboat pilot on the Mississippi River. When he started his writing career, Samuel Langhorne Clemens adopted the name Mark Twain, which meant 2 fathoms deep or a safe depth for a riverboat. This is likely because when he first started working, he started working as a riverboat pilot on the Mississippi River in the United States. So he would have been well versed with the jargon, with the wordings that a riverboat pilot would have been using, and perhaps he just enjoyed that phrase, and so that's his pen name. Now, in 1861, Samuel Clemens avoided the American Civil War by going west. He took his first writing job as a reporter at the Virginia City Territorial Enterprise. Now, at the time, serious news was often mixed with reports that may not have been 100% truthful. Soon he begins using the name Mark Twain and affixing it to different sketches, different reports, even occasional hoaxes that he would write for the paper. Now, this was a time when he first discovered his talent, his calling to writing, and his voice. Now, at 34 years of age, Mark Twain's going to marry Olivia Langdon Clemens. She was the daughter of a New York coal magnate. She's also a member of the country's wealthy elite. She would be a partner, editor, and fellow traveler in success and in failure for the next 35 years. She would also furnish him her family's home in Elmira, New York, a place where he visited often and wrote many of his best-loved books. Now, Twain had 4 children with Olivia: Langdon, who died at 19 months from diphtheria, and then his daughters, Susie, Clara, and Jean. Now, Mark Twain's first book was The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County in 1867. He published over 30 works of literature, which included satire, historical fiction, nonfiction, and of course his beloved short stories. Though his most famous novel is criticized today for racist tones, Mark Twain never expected nor intended the controversy with the publication of Huckleberry Finn in 1885. Mark Twain was not considered racist, but he was rather depicting the life in his times. Matter of fact, he has a quote: "I have no color prejudices, nor caste prejudices, nor creed prejudices. All I care to know is that a man is a human being, and that's enough for me. I mean, he can't be any worse." So by 1900, after publishing for decades, Twain had become America's foremost celebrity. He was invited to attend ship launchings, anniversary gatherings, political conventions, and just countless dinners of the wealthy and the elite. Reporters met him at every port of call, anxious to print a new quote from the famous humorist. Now, to enhance his image, he took to wearing white suits in public and loved to stroll down the street just to see people staring at him. So he specifically would wear white because at the time most other people wore very dark or mottled colors. Not many people had a lot of different outfits, and so you wanted to kind of look clean, and white's a hard color to keep clean. Well, Twain wanted himself to stand out, so he started taking to wearing white outfits. Now, at the time, the Clemens home became a revolving door for the celebrated authors of the day. Some of Twain's friends include Howells, Sherman, Cable, Hart, and several others. But it also saw Clemens involve himself in fanciful investment schemes, and that unfortunately is going to lead to his bankruptcy. And eventually he has to depart for Europe in order to earn more money. Because of his financial problems, Clemens lived in Europe from 1891 to 1901. But this was neither his first nor his last trip abroad. In fact, he was a veteran traveler. From the age of 17 to the last few weeks of his life, he was always discovering new places and revisiting old ones. Now, he crisscrossed the Atlantic more than a dozen times, and he saw places like Turkey, Palestine. He visited Hawaii and Australia. He also visited India and South Africa. Now, when Clemens died on April 21st, 1910, newspapers around the country declared, "The whole world is mourning." By then, he had long since ceased to be a private citizen. He became Mark Twain, a proud possession of the American nation. Mark Twain is known of saying, "I was sorry to have my name mentioned as one of the great authors because they have a sad habit of dying off. Chaucer's dead, Spencer's dead, and so is Milton, so is Shakespeare. Now I'm not feeling so well myself." Now, Mark Twain was one of the greatest authors of all time. He was and is one authentic literary giant of American literature. Now, Twain's quotes, and a lot of times his humorous quotes, are as popular today as they've been any time in American history. And of course, you've been seen throughout every page. I've been putting several of them up for you to enjoy. But here's a few more. The man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who can't read them. What's a classic? Well, it's a book which people praise and don't read. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it's stored than anything on which it's poured. And the two most important days in your life? Well, the day you're born and the day you find out why. It is better to keep your mouth shut and appear stupid than to open it and remove all doubt. And if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Of course, for Mark Twain, humor is mankind's greatest blessing. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. If you enjoyed this, I'd love it if you leave a like or a comment. If you're really enjoying my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. Otherwise, go back and check out some more of my videos. Thanks for stopping by.